2 visa applications, 5 children, including grandkids, and businesses back home. Yet, the Home Office says she doesn't have enough reasons to return home. This is a situation of someone that is actually trying to bring her mom to the UK on a visiting visa and has been refused twice. And the reasons would shock you. We will get into the details shortly. But if you're seeing me here for the first time, please do well to subscribe to my channel. On this channel, I make videos about living in the UK, working in the UK, and everything in between. So if this kind of content interests you, please consider sticking around. Hit the like button if this video helped you in any way and shared with people that might need this information. And as always, all these kinds of videos about people's actual story are not for any other reason than for information purposes only, and for us to learn a thing or two from their experiences. So it is not for anything else. This person has been trying to bring her mom to the UK, and the first application was rejected because the Home Office said that she doesn't have any ties back home to return to. So they decided to try again, because sometimes, yeah, it's normal for visiting visas to be rejected once or twice, because UK visas now is very difficult to get. So anything that is missing is big enough for them to give you a big refusal. So we would have to be very careful when we are making visa applications. Pay attention, no distraction, read the fine print, and in between, if you need someone else to read along, please get another person, because when these visas are refused, your money is not refunded as well. So it's not something we should be playing around with. I'm not saying this person was playing around, right? I'm just saying. Now, they decided to make another application, and this time around, they added all the businesses the woman had, and they added the children that were depending on her and the grandchildren that were depending on her as well, registration of her business, every single thing they felt was the reason Home Office did the first rejection, because they felt they don't have any ties home, was included. Because normally, if you have a business running in your country, or you have children that are dependent on you, that is enough reason to go back home. At least that is what you would think. So they submitted all the birth certificate, they submitted every single thing within their power, pictures, talk about anything, but it was still rejected. And looking at the letter, I do think that there was something they missed out, and we will see it. I need to tell you at this point that I'm not an immigration lawyer. I'm not an immigration lawyer. I am not an immigration expert at all. But I try to do my own research, and I try to give information based on what I have researched and what I know. Okay. So I do think there's something they missed out, and that is why it was rejected. Just that piece of information would have been enough for them to grant that visa, because for everything else that they had submitted was good in this second application, apart from one. So let's just look at briefly what the Home Office say is the reason for that rejection, and then before I say what I have to say, and you understand where I'm coming from. So reasons for refusal. It says that I have refused your application for visit visa because I am not satisfied that you meet the requirements of paragraphs 4.2 to V 4.6 of Appendix 5, because you have stated on your VAF that you would like to come to the UK for 20 days. You have declared on your VAF that you're self-employed and have children that are dependent on yourself, 2 of them being your grandchildren. Whilst I acknowledge you have provided documents to support your application, that's what I was saying. She has provided everything within her power, at least that is what she thought, to support her application. It says that you have not demonstrated any family ties between yourself and your children and grandchildren who will not be traveling with you and will be staying in your home country. We'll talk about this paragraph shortly. The onus is on you, the applicant, to show that you meet the requirements of the immigration rules based on your overall personal circumstances, and that you will comply with all of the conditions associated with any visa. In order to come to my decision, I have considered not only those documents stated above, but all the documents you have provided regarding your circumstances. I note that you have previously been refused a UK entry visa, but each application is processed on its own merit. When processing your application, I have to take into consideration your current circumstances when making my decision. I am therefore not satisfied that your financial circumstances are as declared. Also, that you intend to leave the UK at the end of your visit. Your application is therefore refused under paragraph V 4.2a and C of the immigration rules. Another money down the drain. At this point, I think that if you have the resources, try to involve immigration lawyers. They will be able to provide you with all the information that you would need to score this, because we can't keep spending money like this. It has never happened to me anyway, because when my mother-in-law visited, we just did her application once and it wasn't a big deal. We provided a supporting document. She's married. Her husband actually was back home. I think for the case of this woman, I don't know if her husband is still living with her because there's no mention of it. But for my mother-in-law's case, it was pretty straightforward and there was no refusal. So I don't know what we did right. I don't know what we did right, but that would be a case for another video if you want to know everything that we did to bring her here. And she was granted that visa on just for the first time we applied, and we did it by ourselves. We did not use any agent or any immigration lawyer. But I think things are becoming a bit stricter now. So if you can afford immigration lawyer, please do, so that you're not pouring money down the drain on refusals and all of that. So going back to this letter, it says that they are not satisfied with her financial circumstances as declared, and she did not demonstrate ties with the children and the grandkids that she claims she's living back home. And so they feel like maybe she's not going to go back or something. If you give the Home Office any reason to suspect you unintentionally, because obviously you will not intentionally give them that reason, but if you give them any loophole, especially now that they are trying their best to cut down immigration, whatever kind of immigration safe, even though they know that coming here as a visitor, you're the one spending your money on them, you really don't have anything to benefit from the UK coming to stay here. You're not earning any salary, you cannot work, you can't do anything. They still don't want to take chances of you coming here and you end up not going back to your country. Okay. So what I think may have been missed out from their documents looking at this letter is this. If you check the gov.uk, before you bring your partner here on any kind of visa, you will have to prove that you and your partner have been together for up to 2 years or thereabout, and you will show proof that of relationship, which could be anything, financial statements. So what I think they left out in this situation is this: the woman did not show proof of relationship with the children. Yes, giving the birth certificate, you might think that is enough. With the current day UK applications, it's not enough. That demonstrates family ties, obviously. They know that there is birth certificate, and that clearly is enough evidence of family ties. But they want to see something more. And what is this something more? They want to see that you are the one actually taking care of these children. You're paying their fees, you're giving them money for upkeep. If they maybe you are the one paying their fees, you should have receipts of this payment. You can never submit too many documents to them. They will have the time to look at every single one of them. If you have receipts of school fees, if you have a statement showing where you send money to them on regular basis, evidence to prove that they're actually living with you should be reflected in your financial document. I don't know if this person used her own bank statements instead of the mom's bank statement for this purpose, because that may be another place that they'll be suspicious, do you understand, of her ties back home. Because if she used her own financial statements, then they'll be able to see where money leaves her account to these children. And you also hear them saying that they are not satisfied with her financial position or financial circumstances. So I think at some time, at some point, if possible at all, use the person's bank statements, because they will know that this person is not a liability. Do you understand? As much as you can. There are so many ways to go about this. Use the person's bank statement, and so that to demonstrate independence, that this person is just not depending on you, the applicant, for everything. And so that's my thought. I do feel like if they had added this, the application would have been approved. You tell me in the comment section if I'm wrong, or if there's something you think that this person would have done, because we're all learning, and many people are going through this refusal process on visiting visas. So sometimes things as simple as medical records or medical reports, because if these kids fall ill, yeah, maybe you've been supporting them financially in the hospitals, the hospital can give you notes or record, something to show that you have been the one taking care of their medical bills. Do you understand? So, like I was saying earlier, if they had used her bank statement, I'm sure we would have been able to show that these businesses are actually also thriving. So you cannot just say I have a business and where's the bank statement? How do I know that this business is actually working? That is one good reason they know that, oh, this person's business, money is coming in and going out. So it's actually a functional business. It's not enough to submit your certificate of business registration without a supporting document or bank statement to go with it. Every business runs on money. So they want to see that in your documents. If you have community obligations back in your country, associations you're in, that you're doing a lot of work, engaging the community, if you can have letters or something to prove and to show that, okay, you have community obligations as well as your businesses and your children, easy peasy. Maybe not lemon squeezy, but that's what I think. So every claim you make on your application should be backed up with real documents, real evidence. So when you're writing your reasons, because they'll ask you why are you coming to the UK, and there are a lot of other questions that you feel, and they have answers that you just select. Whatever you're answering, make sure you have real documents to support these claims. But like you saw on the letter, it says that each application is treated on its own merit. So they are not basing their judgment based off of the previous application. They are treating this application on its own. So when you're making an application and you've been refused before, do not think that when you make a new application, they are going to combine the records together to take your decision. They are going to look at everything in front of them. They're not going to start looking at the archives or to look for things that you've submitted in the past. So submit everything again that you think was relevant in the previous application. Submit it again. Be clear, be thorough, be concise, be focused, and do not repeat the same mistakes again, because this is where the heartbreak comes in. So if you have been refused a visa before, do you mind sharing with every other person here so that we learn what your reason was and what you probably did to rectify this problem, so that our brothers and our sisters are not throwing money down the drains just to bring a mom or a dad or a family member just to come and visit for a few days. And yeah, thank you for watching up to this point. God bless you. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.